All right, guys, how you doing? Well, the secret's out, man. That's for damn sure. Let me wipe my lens off. My door switches were indeed the problem to the parasitic drain, so I want to make a special thanks and a shout out to Dan, the Jeep guy, because the locking problem and all that stuff was just such a huge issue. You couldn't even unlock them manually hardly. You would almost break your thumb trying to get the damn door switches unlocked. He told me to replace the door switches, so I did. I got them on Amazon through that, what is it, like doorswitches.com or some shit like that. Anyway, thank you, Dan, very much, because that solved the whole parasitic drain. That was the parasitic drain, was the door lock problem. So we wind up getting that fixed, and after we had the parasitic drain all the way up until I replaced them. As soon as I replaced them, I went back out, did the parasitic draw test, and it was at 0. It took a few seconds, though, for it to actually go down to 0, but it went to 0 and stayed there. So that's actually really good when you take the IOD fuse out. There's absolutely nothing. When we had the IOD fuse in, it was at 0.01, which is fine. But in the process of it constantly killing the battery, it was forcing the alternator to work harder, and it killed the alternator, which we all know happens when it kills the battery. So then I look at it, and I pull this thing out, and I'm like, this damn thing is remanufactured back in 2005. So this thing was probably replaced anywhere from 18 to 14 years ago. Most remanufactured parts, you don't get them from years and years ago because they get remanufactured as somebody else's breaks down. They charge you a core charge where you can keep it, or if you hand it in, they remanufacture it. So when somebody else's breaks down, they just swap that part out. And that's basically what happens with that whole thing. Anyway, Dan, thank you very much, man. You definitely saved my ass with trying to guess this on my wife's Jeep. Anyway, the parasitic draw is gone, and we're going to put the IOD fuse back in as soon as it's alternator, because we would have this battery set, man, charged for days. It would start the damn thing with no problem. My wife would take it to work about 6 miles down the road and come back, and the battery would be low. It would start over, crank over a week. She would take it back to work. She would get here or come back home, and now it'd click the next day. And it's like the alternator wasn't feeding it enough. And after I did the test, it seemed to be cutting out and stopped producing electricity at about 3,000 RPMs. It dropped down to 9 volts. So that's pretty damn bad. Being that it's supposed to be at like 116 amps, I'm sorry, it went to 9 amps instead of 116. So this thing was cutting out completely. Rather, the voltage regulator was causing it to cut out, and that was bad, or whatever. The damn thing is old. It was remanufactured 18 years ago regardless. So anyway, now we have that to deal with, so I'm going to go to the store and get it as soon as my wife gets out of work. But anyway, Dan, thank you so much, man. You saved that whole parasitic draw, hunting, searching, every wire, fuse, man. I'm telling you, it's crazy. It's overbearing. Anyway, peace out, man. Secret's out.